Between 1909 and 1911, the Brazilian government issued bonds to raise money to develop port infrastructure. A bond is a way for governments to borrow money, so the bond involves a promise to repay the borrowed amount plus interest. Most of those who took up the bonds were French investors. As the bonds came due for payment, a dispute emerged between the investors and the Brazilian government about whether the repayments were to be made in gold or in paper francs. This was important because during the loan period, the value of the French franc had declined dramatically. So if the loans were to be repaid in gold, the investors would make the money they had anticipated. If the loans were to be paid in paper francs, the investors would lose heavily. The bond issue was made under Brazilian law, and the matter only became an international dispute when the government of France stepped in to help protect its citizens. So, while the issue was decided by the Permanent Court of International Justice, that court was required to apply Brazilian municipal law to reach its decision. The court set out its methodology for doing so, saying, once the court has arrived at the conclusion that it is necessary to apply the municipal law of a particular country, there seems no doubt that it must seek to apply it as it would be applied in that country. It would not be applying the municipal law of a country if it were to apply it in a manner different from that in which that law would be applied in the country in which it is in force. It follows that the court must pay the utmost regard to the decisions of the municipal courts of a country, for it is with the aid of their jurisprudence that it will be enabled to decide what are the rules which, in actual fact, are applied in the country the law of which is recognised as applicable in a given case. Municipal law in the context of international law means the same thing as domestic national law. From this case, we learn that international courts can apply domestic law where necessary, and that they will do so by reference to case law and legal principles in that country. In this case, the court found that Brazil had promised gold, so Brazil must pay in gold.